Sheriff's Department 5 years ago. There were also some photocopied case files about missing persons and fraud investigations, plus a gas station receipt with a partial license plate number scratched on it in pen. The girl explained that her mom had been investigating something on her own time before this happened. She'd overheard phone calls about people pretending to be cops and taking people who owed money or had warrants. The receipt was from the day before they got grabbed, and her mom must have seen something suspicious. I took pictures of everything with my phone, then put the folder back where we found it. We locked the car and put the key back in its hiding spot in case we needed it again. Back in my car, I finally accepted that we needed real police help, despite the risks of my husband having connections. I dialed 911, and when the operator answered, I tried to keep my voice calm while explaining that I had a child whose mother had been kidnapped 3 days ago. The operator asked a bunch of questions about where we were and if we were safe right now. She told us to come straight to the main precinct downtown and said she'd notify the desk sergeant we were coming. The drive took 20 minutes and the girl stayed quiet the whole time, just staring out the window. The police station was an old brick building with narrow windows and metal detectors at the entrance. Inside smelled like coffee and floor wax, and there were people sitting on benches looking tired and frustrated. I told the desk officer why we were there, and he made a call, then directed us to a conference room down the hall. A woman in a suit came in and introduced herself as someone who worked with child victims. She took the girl to another room to talk privately while a detective came to get my statement. I explained everything about finding the girl at the mall and what she'd told me about the fake cop who took her mom. I described seeing a suspicious man but didn't mention yet that it was my husband, because I needed to think about how to handle that. The detective took notes and said they'd pull the mall security footage to identify the suspect, while the girl worked with the specialist to provide more details. About 20 minutes later, a tall black man in a gray suit walked in carrying a thick folder and introduced himself as Detective Jamal Griffith. He had this calm way of moving that made me think he'd seen a lot of bad stuff but still cared about helping people. He sat down across from me and opened the folder, which had forms and photos inside. He asked me to go through everything again from the beginning, and took notes on a yellow legal pad while I talked. When I got to the part about seeing the man at the mall, his pen stopped moving and he looked up at me. He asked specific questions about the man's height and build and the exact location where I saw him. I described the blue jacket and the limp, and how the girl recognized him instantly. He pulled out a tablet and showed me security camera stills from different angles around the mall. The images were grainy, but you could make out people's faces if you looked close enough. He had me point out where we were sitting and which direction the man was facing. While we were going through the photos, a woman in a blazer knocked and came in saying she was from Child Protective Services. She started talking about emergency foster placement for the girl, and paperwork that needed to be filed immediately.